Just lie back. Just point the camera down. Lie on the
floor and tell me about your childhood.
Yeah, we don't have time for that. So we'll jump right in then. Play some D&D. You guys, having just garnered the friendship of an ancient and primordial band of fighters, got through the temple that was housing their spirits and befriended them, and he bestowed gifts on you to help you in the coming war. You started making your way towards Drygulch and found a perimeter guard patrol that had been besieged by some entities, and you saw that one of them needed aid. You did help them and travel with them to the town of Drygulch, where you had met two of the what seemed to be leaders of this group of guard, Soteg Jivyu, the Aarakocra with the red feathers, and Glorb, the small goblin engineer. You guys make your way... What?
And Galmonk, the brass dragonborn.
Yep, the one that was on the stretcher. But those two, Soteg and Glorb, seem to be kind of like the leaders of this band.
Oh, I thought Galmonk was the one that Hadvar talked to outside of the dome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of...
Just keeping watch with him.
Okay. So not the one that was on the stretcher that got poisoned or whatever. Okay.
No.
Cool.
So after a night's watch, you guys make your way and finally made it to the oceanside bay or city of Drygulch, where you saw a very large harbor with several docked ships, and standing above the city itself on what looked to be these large wooden, I called them helicarriers. Give me 1 second. Hello. Hey, what's up, man? Good. I just had...
He muted his microphone. We're about to try and get him to come into work.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh.
Did you hear us, Kyle?
Kyle?
What? Sorry.
Oh,
Okay. We just wanted to make sure that you could hear.
My phone is being stupid. Hold on. I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Best boyfriend
All right, over there.
Yeah, today was a rough day. Just busy. Still haven't showered after work, so I feel really grimy.
Been there, done that. Andy is currently in that boat.
I told Brandon, one of my patients, I pull into their development and I sit in my car and I'm on my tablet and looking at their notes, and I get a phone call. Hey, are you still coming today? Yeah. He goes, oh, because the patient is on the floor. So I was like, oh. And she was like, yeah, I can't get him up, so I was hoping you were going to come here soon.
So you do how are you one of the so you make house calls then?
Yeah, so I work for a home health company. So what they do is we go into patients' homes and provide. We have nurses that come in and do nursing care. We have therapists that come in and do physical therapy. We have occupational therapists do occupational therapy. If
So
they
just like the nurses that came to me while I was laid up at home. It was right after my surgery, and I had to have somebody come to my house every other day and change my gauze. Kind of like that same scenario.
So it's people that can't get out. So a lot of the patients are either elderly or they've had surgeries where they're not permitted to drive.
Yeah, that was me. My butt. I had a big old butt surgery. So and also so between the medicine that I was on, my Kaz being at work, and the fact that I couldn't even sit down really. Yeah. It was gnarly. You should. Oh man, I should have showed you the pictures while we were at IHOP. It would have totally made your appetite better.
I don't know. I've come home with some stories.
Yeah. Well, and my dad's in medicine, so I've seen some pretty gnarly stuff.
Yeah. So I had an incision. Basically, I had a pineal cyst, and they cut it out. Now, the last time I had this, many years ago, they cut the whole thing out, and then they closed it up, and they were like, all right, cool. Well, since then, I guess they changed the way they do this procedure, and instead of closing it up after they cut it out, they let it close from the inside out. Yeah, so it like folds up. Yeah, or like folds up like this. Yeah, like two pieces of paper, and it just goes whoop.
Yeah.
And so turns out that was the plan, and they kind of had an idea that this thing was kind of big, but they went in and they were digging it out, and then they realized there was more, and then there was more, and then there was more. My incision ended up being 3.5 inches deep and 7 inches long.
Wow.
Did they put a wound vac on you?
No, they did not. I remember someone asking. Well, it was my mother-in-law, because she does. Well, she's not in medicine, but she's really good with medicine. Anyway. Oh no, it hits her husband. She had a wound vac before, but no, they just had people coming in and clean it up. The first day after I got home, I remember it was like the day after, I think, and I had to go to the bathroom. Like I had to.
You had a bowel movement.
I had to move some bowels, and then I ended up bleeding all over the floor, and I couldn't get it to stop, and my house looked like a crime scene. And I ended up calling the ambulance because I couldn't get the blood to stop, and I started getting woozy, and then they used something called like silver nitrate
To help plug it out.
Yeah, and so that was super painful. But yeah, that was one hell of an experience. I'll tell you that.
True.
But the pineal cyst was no fun either. I honestly, I'm glad that it was better to go through that than live with that cyst.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, I'm back.
Yay!
When do you have to go in?
Huh?
When do you have to go to work?
11. I still go in at 11. We had a drug dealer that just got beat. Someone stole his drugs and ran away like a couple hours ago. Yeah, and he's been dealing drugs out of this apartment pretty frequently, but it's not really caused any issues. And now that we start to see issues, I wanted to get Susquehanna police involved because these are the situations that cause shootings and all the other nonsense to go on. So he is mean. He's mean. We've walked by him a couple times and said hello, just being like the friendly neighbors, and he would just give us the stare that was like.
Well, I mean, it's probably because you're a cop.
He doesn't know that.
I mean, well,
I kind of.
You probably look like a cop. I mean, to me, you look like an Anthony, but
Right.
you probably look like a cop.
That's what Jen says, but um,
Do you
Yeah,
smell
so-
like really nice, like very charismatic?
yeah, well, I mean, like I was, oh, hello, we are always very nice to everybody that lives here, and he just grilled us, just 1,000-yard stare the whole time. Oh, and he does it to everybody that goes by his apartment because he's always outside waiting for somebody to give them drugs.
So I'm curious. So it's in your development?
Yeah. It's one building away from us.
So if he knows your face and knows you're the cop that comes to get him, and he knows where you
I wouldn't be the cop to get him because
No,
I don't
they-
work in this jurisdiction.
Yeah, most people probably don't work where they live.
You'd be surprised, unfortunately.
It's probably a good idea, though. You don't really want to work where you live because that's going to create issues.
Yes, I've already arrested several of my neighbors just because I work so close to where I live.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's not great, but anywho, sorry about that. So you, Soteg, Glorb, and the rest of their band of guard get to Drygulch, this harbor town. You figure it might be a trade post since it is off the coast of the continent. You see a lot of ship stock, but more importantly, you see what I described last time as helicarriers. Really, they're just wooden support platforms that have 8 of these enormous, all very uniquely designed and different massive ships that are very far from the water and that are hoisted up on these wooden platforms in some capacity. One of them, notably, is the one that flew over top of you when you guys were at the temple. And you do see that one with the propellers and a couple other. It's still pretty far in the distance. It's a fairly large city. I gave you that map, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you're coming in from the northwest section where that tower is. There's a gate underneath the tower that you're able to enter the city through. And Soteg had previously mentioned going to a tavern called the Clipped Wing to kind of talk about why you're here. But as you get there, you see him give a couple orders to the rest of the group, and they kind of rush ahead and carry through the open gate, Galmonk, through to what you assume may be an infirmary of some kind or a healer. So who's left behind is Soteg and Glorb that are going to tag along and take you to the Clipped Wing Tavern. As you go through the town, it's really interesting because you've been walking through the desert for so long. It's all sand and hot, and now that you're this close to the ocean, you have this really nice cool breeze coming off the water. But everywhere around the city where there is water, since it is bordered by water and there's bridges that go across into the city, grass grows on the edges where the sand kind of recedes into the earth, and you can see maybe a little bit of a few dozen feet of stone and earth, and then grass nearest the water, everywhere that the water is in this city. So you guys make your way in, and as you're going through, it's a very rustic town, but you see everyone has a lot of machinery coinciding with the way they live. A lot of pulley systems to get things up to the second floor of houses. A lot of the doors have gears on them that will open and shut automatically for people as you see them coming and going into their houses and whatnot. Again, I think I had said it last time, a lot of the population here are Aarakocra, Goblin, and Metallic Dragonborn. Those are kind of like the most notable that you're seeing and trying to take in everything. The Aarakocra are several different varieties of birds. You see a lot of ravens and crows, but you see a lot of eagles and hawks and a lot of the birds of prey kind of type of humanoid Aarakocra. You find a few smaller ones that are about maybe 3 feet to 4 feet tall that have more of the like macaw or parrot type structure to them. So you see that the Aarakocra themselves as a race have a lot of different kind of sub-races as a part of their culture. The way that humans, dwarves, and gnomes and halflings the Aarakocra kind of have that themselves, where they have a plethora of different races within their own kind of body types and features. You do make your way to a building that has a wing that is cut in half, like part way down. Like if this is the wing, it's kind of like cut down the middle and split. And you see clipped wing underneath it, and you guys enter the tavern. Is there anything that you would want to have done entering the city to the point where you get to the tavern?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Advar, you can go first.
I would be keeping an eye out for anything that looked like maybe a place where I could buy some potions.
Roll a perception check as you're walking through. The tavern is still in this kind of northwest district for where the waterways that you've noticed off in the distance are. You see how the waterways kind of is a pseudo taxi service that kind of goes through the city to get you from one place or another so that you don't have to walk there. You're still within the first block of the city, and it's mostly residential with a few shops here.
Okay. So I guess among those shops, does my 12 find anything?
Not anything that would inherently have any magical supplies. You see a lot of handcrafted stuff. You see a lot of a lot of fresh food markets, a lot of seafood, a lot of like clams, a lot of this and that, a lot of jewelry stands. There's a shop that says Finer Things on it, and it has gems that go around the entire border of the sign. So maybe a gemstone shop there.
I would probably stop then and grab some food and like something I can walk with and just chow down.
It's not necessarily a grocery store. It's kind of like the open market, like a bazaar. You see like fresh fish being plopped out, like tuna and large. There's some like smaller sharks, which are about 3 feet long for sale that you see people actively butchering and calling out and giving.
Okay, got you. Man, my
We're also on our way to
right into Fish Command would be perfect here.
If they weren't dead.
We're on our way to a tavern anyway, though, right?
You are.
So we'll be able to get food there more than likely.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
if you were to ask any questions, he would explain that it is a tavern service where you can stay overnight, get food, entertainment at night.
I want to ask Sotag about the water that's surrounding it.
Okay.
So
Surrounding the city?
Oh my God!
I'm asking you about the walk. I would mute your phone.
Is there a problem?
Text conversations during D&D.
Because your mom's registering for that walk.
Okay. I just wanted to ask him, is the water around and through the city, is it fresh water or is it like ocean water that they dug channels and it has come in?
It is, you don't even have to ask. On site, it's very obviously man-made channels from the ocean.
Okay, so then I'm going to ask him, do sea creatures find their way into the channels here?
Sometimes, but they are kept at bay by the patrol that surrounds each of the waterways.
But I mean, like, sharks. Do, like, sharks come through and, like, that helps keep people who haven't come through one of the gates?
It is rare that many fish venture into our city walls, but it has been known to happen. You'll see fishermen frequenting many of the waterways. Nothing so dangerous as to alarm anyone.
Okay. Cool.
You see him like peck at his feathers like he's cleaning something on his shoulder real quick. Like a small, like instead of using his wings or hands to itch, he's using his beak.
Sure.
Amora, can you roll a perception check for me as well?
I want to find crackers, by the way.
You what?
I want to find crackers.
Okay.
He wants to throw it into the water to feed the fish and stuff.
I thought he was gonna feed Polly a cracker.
I think he's gonna try to feed the Aarakocra.
Oh,
That was only 7, 8,
The smaller macaw and parrot types.
9. There's just a 12.
A 12. You don't see anything yet.
Okay.
Anything else before you head to the tavern?
No, everything's just so.
Everything's very new. It's a very different atmosphere. Again, it's pseudo-industrial. You don't see a lot of like steam or any kind of gas or any of those like inner workings for machines. It's a lot of gears, a lot of pulleys, a lot of strings, a lot of this and that, and whatever is powering them is forced motion, but a lot of times there is no forced motion visible. So like an automatic door, with like as you approach it, it opens with using the gears.
That's cool.
But there's no one actually like pulling the doors open.
oh.
If that makes sense.
Hmm?
Perhaps magical. So you guys make your way to the tavern. It's not grandiose by any stretch of the imagination. It's a very regular tavern. It has a wooden bar, easy wooden tables with high back chairs and stuff. Behind the bar, you see a very large, fairly overweight owl, Aarakocra, with a apron. He's got like white and brown feathers. You see like his feathers start white, and all of the tips of each of his feathers are brown. So it gives this very interesting kind of like striped pattern to him. But you see his very full face and full cheeks, and you see him kind of laughing with some of the customers. He has a towel thrown over his shoulder and a large, heavier apron, which is very much soiled with all sorts of liquids for him having been working most of the day, more than likely.
I see him and then I like hurry up and put Kit in my pocket dimension.
Sure.
It just seems really weird. I'm like,
Do you leave Atari out? Is Atari in his dimension already?
Oh no, Atari's on my shoulder, just kind of like.
Just looking around.
Yep.
Roll a percentage die for me.
Who?
You.
Me? Oh. Okay.
I was like, oh no.
Natamura.
That is a 67.
There's at one point in time you feel him kind of like hop a couple times, like keep an eye on something, and you notice one of the Aarakocra kind of like talking to him at one point in time. Nothing overtly alarming or anything, but you notice there was a line of communication very briefly as you passed by one of the Aarakocra, one of the Raven type Aarakocra. So you make your way into the tavern, and Soteg, says something to Glorb and goes off towards the bar. And Glorb pipes in, "Oh, we can get a table over here. We should be fine. Someone will be over to serve us in a moment." And he just kind of walks over to the further corner of the tavern to sit down, and just kind of hops up on one of the chairs, and he offers the like corner booth to you three and Scythe.
Okay.
And you sit down and you guys just kind of hang out, and Soteg eventually brings over a tray full of mugs, and he sits them down, and the smell is overwhelmingly sweet as he sits the beverages down. A very, very, very pale color. Now, they're in wooden tankards, so you can't like see through the glass.
I'm gonna take it. While I'm doing this, I want to kind of, as I'm drinking, I just kind of want to look around, and I'm just trying to see if there's anybody that looks like. So I'm looking for two very specific things right now.
Okay.
possibly anyone, well, maybe three. Anything that looks like a captain, or maybe someone that might look like they might be in charge of the
Oh, they're
ships.
like the guard of the
Yeah,
town?
kind of
Okay.
like, yeah, something that looks like a captain, something that looks like maybe somebody that looks pretty well to do, maybe jewel encrusted.
Okay.
Um,
In the tavern at the moment, no one really catches your eye. It's pretty rough and tumble crowd. You see a few grittier looking people. And inside the tavern, you see more humans than any other race, actually.
is this like the first place we've seen many humans?
En masse, yes.
Okay.
So there's like 5 humans in here, as opposed to the overwhelming minority of them that would be hard to find them outside. It seems like this may be something that Soteg brought you to kind of put you perhaps in a comfortable place.
Gotcha.
And I can't remember. Are we supposed to meet back up with them at some point? Are we the group, because they were going to put us into contact with somebody?
He said he could talk to you about it at the tavern, which you are here now.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So Barrow takes the drink.
It's a heavy odor of pineapple and mango. It's hard to tell if it's actually alcoholic. It tastes like very sweet juice.
Do I see any like hummingbird croaker?
No, but you do see some shorter, like not hummingbird, but like robin or swallow, like gnome height, and you see them kind of like, I don't want to say waddling around, but like they do that little like kind of pseudo jump waddle. They bink,
Yeah.
bink, bink, bink. You see them kind of buzzing around. No hummingbird per se.
So yeah, I'm gonna turn and ask the goblin about the I'm gonna ask him about the ships and about the jewel siphoner person.
Oh, okay. Well, the head engineers for the ships, they're quite brilliant. It's Agaru and Agera. They are twins. Not Nogaru. Igaru. Igaru and Igera. Agaru and Igera. They're pretty brilliant twins. They came up with this idea that everyone should be able to fly. I've assisted them on building one of the ships, the Icarus. It's a marvelous piece of equipment, but only 2 of them are flight capable at the moment. It does take a considerable amount of resources, but they're the ones that kind of deal with building the ships and running them.
What are they powered off of?
Oh, it's a very complex combination of strong engineering, mechanics, and magic.
So it's fuel is magic.
There is no fuel source per se. One of them does run off of fire and coal, and the other one does run off of water. That is the Prometheus and the Laius.
So what the 2 that are running?
Icarus is running at the moment, and the Cronus is running.
And how capable are they in the skies?
Well, the Cronus just made a successful flight. It just got back here maybe a day or so ago. No damage this time, and it didn't crash, so that's good.
What about, I don't know, battle capabilities?
These are more transportation vehicles than they are battle worthy. Now, they are manned by several people who guard the ship. We'd be silly not to do something to protect our resource, but they don't have any defenses, if that's what you're asking. There's not much in the skies that we have to worry about.
Well, I'm just thinking, if you're up high.
He was like scratching the inside of his ear with his thumb.
I mean, it's a considerable advantage against things that don't fly.
Well, this is very true, but the idea behind these vehicles was for commerce and transportation and the experience of being in the sky. Really, the only Aarakocra are able to do that.
No, I don't understand that.
It was their idea. Maybe eventually we can build a battleship, but I don't know what it would be good for.
Well, I could tell you what it would be good for. Defending all of existence on this plane.
I suppose it would have a pretty good advantage. You see him kind of pick at his teeth as he's thinking about it.
Have you guys not gotten any word from out west?
Mm-hmm. No, we don't really bother with anything west of the mountains.
Yeah,
this project is something that we might be able to, establish some trading routes rather than with the other continents. We could be more involved in Ferristar.
Well, it's going to be very difficult to trade with a continent that is completely dead.
Ah! You see him his eyes light up, and Soteg kind of leans in. That's a pretty strong accusation. What do you mean, dead?
Well, right now, the west side of the mountain is under siege from a very, very, very bad person. Well, that person is probably not the right term. Are you familiar with Orcus?
You see them both look at each other, and the name is unfamiliar to me.
Basically, he's a lord of the undead, and he's killing everyone in Wisterton.
Ah! You see him starting to get nervous. The goblin's starting to bite his fingernails, and you actually see the feathers on the back of Soteg start to as they were resting gently across and showing a nice coat. You see them start to bristle and kind of flare up a little bit. This is concerning news. Is it just the mountains, or is it?
Well,
as far as we know, everything west of the mountains.
You see them look at each other again, slowly, this is beyond us. Perhaps you should speak to someone else about this. We are just regular guards. Glorb does work on the ships, but we just wanted to give you a place to stay for the evening.
And we do appreciate that, but this is and we will definitely really appreciate that.
Your rooms
This
are
is a
taken
manner
care of for tonight, by the way. I took the liberty myself of paying for at least your first night here.
Oh well,
Thank you.
Thank you. Let us get the next round. As I'll do the little, and I'll pull some coin out and put it on the edge of the table to pay the.
There's a younger female human that comes over and looks at the coin and looks at you. How much do you put down?
I'll put down what would I think a normal drink would go for?
A regular drink typically is only about 5 copper.
Oh well, then yeah, I'll just drop 5 gold down.
You put 5 gold on the edge of the table. And you see this woman come by, and she looks down and nods and does a double take and say, "Do you need something?"
Just another round of drinks. Keep them coming.
Yes, sir, absolutely. And she kind of scoops the gold into her hand, and she's swallowing really hard, oh my gosh, she's never held this much money in her life.
Before that happens, am I getting any sort of buzz from this drink? I've been sipping it very gingerly.
I drank the whole thing, and it was like trying to chug a soda. It's hard, it's kind of hard to do because it's carbonated. You get that weird sensation in your mouth, but it's just so sweet. It's cloying. It kind of sticks to the corners of your mouth and your gums.
Pretty good.
Miss.
Pretty good.
This fruity drink is great. It's really good.
So it's my favorite. And he takes he opens his mouth completely open, because birds don't have lips, and he just kind of and just like throws the whole thing back.
I was just wondering if I was just wondering if maybe you had something that was a little bit harder.
Yes, we do. Right away, sir. Yes. Is that okay for everyone?
Yes, that'll be
It was
fine.
juice. It was good.
It's not
Yes.
okay. And she takes the gold and turns it and walks away for the time being.
But yeah, so
Sotek explains that there is an open palm emissary here that you may want to speak with. They deal with most of the matters on the west side of the mountains.
yeah.
I believe that would be your best course of action.
Is there
I can set
anyone
up an
else?
appointment if you would like.
Is there anyone else we might be able to speak with?
He looks
Is
at Glorb again. Glorb's, the twins may be able to help, but they don't really have any pull. We're not a military force out here. It's just the guard, and that's about it. We just try to keep away from the Dragonborn.
If we were going to ask for assistance to transport people with the ships, we're not going to use them for battle, but if we needed them to transport people to where there might be a battle.
Hadvar's face was noticeably like, ooh, like you might actually do that. I want to see if they notice that. Hang on.
Like literally the face that Thor makes to Bruce Banner in Ragnarok was like,
like really? You see them both like listen to you, and then they both turn to Hadvar as Hadvar's looking at you like, ooh.
I mean, if we were going to use them in that sense, or ask rather, who would we need to get permission from? Who would sign up?
It would be the twins. They're in charge of all of the flight permissions and the building and the repairs and everything else that goes with it.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe we should start that. Out of curiosity, who is the Open Palm representative?
And he looks up at Soteg, and Soteg says, I do not deal with him. He's not someone I enjoy being around.
Oh, good. Yeah, that sounds
sounds
great.
about right.
Maybe he doesn't know what happened.
She whispers loudly.
You're not drunk.
It's that sugar rush, man.
Should we get outside?
You may have to carry her. Like from the car to the house kind of a deal.
Yeah.
If it wouldn't be too much to ask, would you be able to set up meetings with both of them?
Well, they're never far apart. I don't see why you would even need an appointment. They're typically up near the ships. You just have to find them.
I believe he meant the twins and the Open Palm representative.
Yes.
And then Soteg, I will speak to him and see what his availability is, unless you'd like to do so yourself.
Out of character. Shouldn't we have somebody that we rescued kind of reintroduce ourselves to the Open Palms? Because I mean we're bad news right now to the Open Palm. So if we've rescued these guys.
Unless Skippy doesn't know. Is that his name? His name's Skippy.
His name is not Skippy.
Yeah.
Can it be? No.
No.
But if we somebody that
I agree. I agree. I think
I would prefer to go. I think we should go into this with, full disclosure, without any trickery, because that's just gonna screw us up. We go at them, be honest, and I think maybe we can come out on top on this one. Maybe. cities don't seem to like our little open palm way
Yep.
of doing things.
As you were walking through, you may have gotten an occasional glance from a lot of the people that you walked by, just for the fact that they may not have seen a lot of halflings, half-orcs, dark elves. They know of these races, but they seem pretty secluded, keep to themselves. It's a beach town. They don't have a lot to worry about most of the time.
You are quite the motley crew.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say that our description has probably already made it around town, and our description probably matches the description of probably the group that sunk half of the San Francisco.
But again, if this is an emissary that's over here, and they don't really deal with the west side of the,
You could be right. But if I know anything about the open palm, it's that.
I'm not going to give you the answer. Roll a history check to see if you know anything about the outpost at Drygulch.
Or I could
Oh, cool.
That's who his contact is in Drygulch.
That's gonna be a 22. You said history, right?
Yeah. You know that somebody was sent out here just as a nicety to Drygulch to keep a line of communication in some regard so that you can have a pseudo ally near the coast of the continent. You don't know who was sent out here. You don't know of any line of communication that has been active with Drygulch. You just know that there was an emissary out here and had been out here since you've been a part of the Open Palm.
Okay.
There's been no reason to ever contact him on your behalf. Through your missions, you've had no dealings with Drygulch. Through any of your conversations with Master Grand or, oh my gosh, the wizard that trained you.
Skippy.
Not Skippy.
Peanut butter.
Not peanut butter. Captain Grayless, the old red tiefling. The crazy old red tiefling that trained you in magic.
Yeah.
In all of your conversations with anyone, nobody has ever even mentioned reaching out to Drygulch previously.
All right. Well, if I know anything about ex Nobis, is that they've completely forgot about this guy and kind of let him do his own thing. So, I mean,
That's kind of what
what did I say?
Ex Nobis.
Yeah, open palm. They kind of just let him do whatever he wants. So, I don't know. We can maybe try to curry some favor. Maybe not lie, but maybe not be so forthwith.
Well, I mean, that's the other problem, too. If they're not keeping open lines of communication, this guy's not even going to know who ex Nobis is or was.
Well, that could be good.
We're just three people that are showing up saying, hey, you can take our word for it. We're trying to help Wizardton out because all this shit happened and blah. I think we should just go to the Twins and not even worry about this guy. The more that I think about it.
Always ask Phineas
Yeah.
for the contact.
I don't know. Look at my wrist.
You look at your watch.
I don't know why I would look at my wrist. There's nothing there, but
There's an hourglass just on his.
There's 3 hourglasses on it that slowly turn. Yeah.
I've seen people do this when they're saying, "Hey, you're wasting my time." So I don't know. I
All right, yeah, let's go talk to the Twins and see what we can get from them.
But first, so Tad, you mentioned on the way here that there was a place that sifted gems out of the ocean.
He looks at Glorb, and Glorb just kind of gives it a face I didn't say that. There's a jewel crafter, someone who deals in gems. We do not get them from the ocean, but there is a practitioner and appraiser of gems close by, yes.
Would that be the finer things?
Yes, if you have business there.
Uh-oh.
Is that a bad place?
Glorb chimes in. He's just a little eccentric. That's all. Just a strange man.
I deal with eccentric.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's
So,
kind of sweet.
tell you what, why don't you set up this meeting with the twins?
The other round of drinks comes and is set down by the female, and she gives like 800 bows, like thank you. If you need anything, thank you. She kind of backs away.
And I'll take my beer and I say, we're gonna head over to the finer things and let us know what's up.
Barrow, it is straight liquor. It is a mug full of liquor. They don't have like ales.
I'm just gonna make a mixed drink, take the rest of mine and mix them together. And...
Okay.
Oh, that would have been a good idea. Damn it. Why didn't I do... Can I get another one of those?
You see the large bartender kind of... And he's like busy now, and he's like pouring drinks constantly, and he's like, oh my gosh, like these people need whatever they want. So yeah, he's pouring whatever you guys need. So he pours another of the fruity drink that you wanted. Is that it?
No.
Oh, another liquor.
Not the fruity drink.
Oh, okay. So he pours you another. You see him take out a very dusty bottle with like wing prints on it from where he gripped it last time, and he picks it up and he's like brushes it off with his wing and like pours it into the mug again and points to them.
I'm going to take my concoction and I'm going to go up to the owl bartender and I'm going to say, you should serve this to all of your human patrons.
Ooh, this looks interesting. And do you mind?
Yep, and I hand it to him.
And he sniffs it first and you see him go, boom! And his feathers like kind of bristle out. This is too strong for me, but you put the drink I just gave you in with the last drink.
Yes, I mixed the two together, equal parts, call it the Hadvar, and go to town.
Does anyone want a free drink? And he holds it up to like the three humans at the bar, and you see them all go, "Hey!" And they're kind of like all drunk already, and you start seeing them argue and start to tussle with each other over the drinks. We'll figure this out. Thank you.
Hey, can you do the thing? Can you do the thing?
He sits back and he like turns away from you, and then he just slowly rotates his head all the way around. Is this what you need?
I'm gonna just take a coin and say thank you for this excellent service. I'll put a gold on the table.
He smiles and he bows to you. He says, "Not a problem."
We spent all our money just.
So Soteg and Glorb, thank you again for aiding their companion, and they finish their drinks and take their leave.
I wanted to at least ask Gorb something, because I know that he's been working. Glorb.
Not Gord. Glorb.
Glorb.
Listen, there's all this sugar. So I want to go over and I want to say, Glorb, have you ever made anything out of your little gears? Like anything bigger?
Have I? Oh, I'm constantly at work. I did help build the Icarus.
Ooh, okay, not that big. I'm looking for sort of like a movable piece of armor.
What?
So you're not there.
Oh.
Do you-
movable armor? For what purpose?
Well, do you see my wolf over there?
He looks down, and Saif is just kind of like sniffing a lot of like the posts and just being a happy pup.
He's been helping us a lot with our adventures, but I want to make him not so squishy. So
Amora would know that he has barding, studded leather barding, and has had armor for like
Yeah.
a long time, and he's not squishy.
I know. I was trying to make him like.
Actually, He can kind of handle himself.
He has the same armor class as you and me.
I was trying to make him like steampunk armor. So if he were to quote unquote change, it would move with him. Like the gears.
Oh,
He
that would
doesn't-
need to be very magical.
He doesn't change anymore. Titan's gone. But thanks for this walk down memory road.
Anyways, so I don't really make armor too much, just gadgets, trinkets, a couple weapons.
Well, I'm really interested to see all your trinkets, though.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. He looks over at Barrow like he's thumbing her face over.
That was out of character. She had something
Oh,
that
it's in
was
character.
go into her eyeball.
It was in character. Barrow just comes over and like licks his thumb and starts like wiping dirt off of her forehead. Yeah, you can come over sometime. Soteg and I have to check on Galmong, but we can yeah, you can come over sometime.
Can she tell us where he lives or where we can find him? Or is he just like, oh yeah, you can come over sometime?
The latter. Yeah, he's like, yeah, you can come over sometime. And he looks up at Soteg and they both stand up. Thank you again. Really appreciate the help.
How will we know when you set up the meeting?
Well, they're going to meet us at Finer Things.
We are not going to go to Finer Things, but as I indicated, there is no meeting necessary. You can just find them.
Oh,
I'm sure they'd be happy to talk to you, especially
gotcha.
with how concerning things are on the Western Front.
Well, in that case, since there's no time, I think maybe we should just go straight to them. I thought we had to wait for the meeting to set up.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if we have any questions, you guys are really the only ones that we know here. Is there someplace that we can find you?
We will be at the infirmary probably for more than a few days.
And that is...
And he starts like scribbling on a piece of paper. You need to head to the southeast section, blah, 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 blah. He gives you directions, but it's in the southeast section closest to the ocean of the city. It's like on the opposite side of the city. But he explains, this is where our barracks, the infirmary, many of the hospitals and staff reside. So,
Okay. Cool.
you will find us there. Thank you again. And he stands up and leaves.
My lord. Bye, Sotag.
Wait, can I see me?
No, we just don't know what that was. There was they said bye Sotag and there was like a wheep woo. They can't see you, no.
Okay.
I thought that noise was you for a second.
No,
All right.
I thought it was Mandy.
No.
It's an app that I...
Oh. It was the owl. It was the bartender going sneezing. You see some feathers kind of.
Yeah, I've also got... I didn't know what Sotag would sound like. So that was a chocobo, but I think I've got like another one.
We'll say it was the bartender sneezing, and you see a couple feathers like laying down on the bar.
I would not accept anything other than his head spinning really fast whenever he sneezes.
Oh, that. Woo! Yeah, and then that like the feathers are all out, and then they kind of slowly come back down. Oh, excuse me. So where do you guys? Where? Hang on. Hang on. You good? All right.
You know, you can just like turn your camera off, right?
Yeah, I know I can do that, but she was walking, and it was the first thing that I was able to do. Anyways, they're whistling at you. They can't see you.
No.
Anyways, so where do you guys make your way first? Finer Things is like a couple blocks down the street. The first platform of ships is a bit of a walk. You'll have to traverse a lot of the city to get to the first set of ships.
Yeah, I'd like to go to the ships. I think the ships are probably a big priority right now.
Remind me again. Did Hadbar tell us anything about what the Arcanoloth told him that he wanted him to do? We know
No.
that there was some sort of agreement made.
Right. You knew that he was very insistent on going to Drygulch, and you knew that he was supposed to be looking for a blue gem, and that's it.
The only
Because-
person that really knows was Min, because
That
she was
word-
there.
And that word got around through Katira, because Min and Katira were both there.
Yeah.
You knew that he was interested in looking for a blue gem earlier, that it was in the ocean near the coast of Drygulch.
But I did not speak any more of it.
Nope.
Yeah, let's go to the ship.
To the ships. You guys make your way through the city, and when you cross the first bridge into like the center of the city, you start seeing a lot of the same pictures set up on a lot of the buildings and corners. Wanted pictures, actually. And there's two individuals on these dark brown, a lot of them torn, burned at the edges, but you see these wanted photos kind of hanging around.
Alive with Banjo?
Vanilla bean bastard.
So you see those, and then next to him,
Wait. Go back.
What?
you see these wanted pictures all over the city in the middle of town.
Is his face a chocolate chip cookie?
Does it say I hate peace,
Yeah,
but spelled incorrectly?
no, it's spelled correctly. Peace.
Oh, it looked like it was an S. Yeah, his armpit made it look like it was an S. Now, what was the reward for Vanilla Bean Bastard?
It says $5 million.
Is
Alive with Banjo.
Guys, this seems really lucrative. We should check this out.
laughing?
I mean, here's the thing. If we can find this Vanilla Bean Bastard, I'm just saying, we can
What we
buy
said.
both of those ships. We can buy both of those ships. We might even be able to buy Orcus off and just tell him to go home.
I don't know. We could probably get the dude with the hates peace, and he probably is in league with Orcus. Look at that guy.
I
Just
mean,
look at
it
him.
does kind of look like the undead a little bit.
Wait, what was the guy's name with the finger? Or there was no like wanted.
There was no name. He's just another picture that's posted next to the Vanilla Bean Bastard.
So
Have I ever seen these two people in my life?
No.
There's
No.
no role in the world. No.
Alive with Banjo.
I stopped the closest person to me,
Okay.
and I take the poster and I'm like, "Have you ever seen anybody that looked like this here?"
You see him get really nervous. I don't want to speak about this, and he turns and starts to walk away.
Wait.
So
Is this a child's joke or is this real?
that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is it a
Please
joke?
don't involve me. He calls out over his shoulder as he walks away.
That guy's Vanilla Bean Bastard.
You actually say that?
Hang on.
Can I insight to see if these are actually like real? Are there other posters?
I don't actually think.
There's hundreds of these posters as you're walking by, either on the side of buildings, on the corners of intersections. You see them.
Do I see any more guards?
Yeah, there's guards walking around.
I'd like to ask a guard about this.
I rolled a percentage die. I set a percentage for.
You didn't yell it. Okay. He just turned around and very nervously walked away from you.
Yeah.
You stop a guard close by. It happens to be a human male.
All right. Hey, excuse me. What's the meaning of this?
The Vanilla Bean Bastard. He's been harassing our town for a while now. Used to work on the ships.
Okay, and I'm gonna bring the other one up with him, the other picture, and say, "And this?"
It's the fella running around with him. We've been looking for them for about a year now.
I'm gonna look at the pictures. And I'm gonna look back at him like
He's like you. You can roll an insight check.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Okay.
I think he's messing with us.
oh, well, that's a natural 1. So
14.
You think he's legit. 14, Amora?
12.
He seems sincere. He's telling you this is a guy that's been harassing them for about a year that used to work on the ships.
and what was his deal? Like why the banjo?
Yeah, I kept playing it real loud. Bunch of weird stuff kept happening.
Was
He
he
was
hurting
kicked out of the
people?
town.
Wait. What kind of weird stuff?
Nothing that I can explain. It's beyond me. Something magical. But he was messing with people's minds. He turned a lot of people against each other. He robbed several of the high officials in the town under the guise that he was going to be playing for them.
And is he a goblin?
No, he's human like me.
I think that was a human.
Yeah, he's human.
He's a
Bard.
bard.
But
He's a bard.
I don't know about a bard, but the thing that's running with him, that strange creature, I don't know what he is.
I'll tell you what. There ain't nothing in this world I hate more than a bard.
Who is
There's some guy on the street that's just like,
who is
The town crier's like holding the papers and was like just about to say something. He just kind of.
who is offering to pay this reward? I mean, this is a pretty
Substantial sum.
Yeah.
I believe it's the twins.
Okay, this makes more sense. All right. Well then, thank you.
Yep.
Turn to them and I'm like, all right.
He walks away.
Sir, real quick. We're obviously new to Drygulch. Is there anything we don't want to step on any toes? And we're from over across the mountains, and things might be different there.
I gathered that.
Is there anything that we should know about, rules or law-wise here that may not be readily apparent to outsiders?
Yeah, like murder. Is murder not allowed here?
Murder is definitely not allowed, sir. Please do not murder.
Okay.
Most common sense laws hold supreme in this town. Treat others nicely, that sort of thing. You should be all right. Don't cause any problems. Don't upset anyone.
What about if we play this
Guardians of the Galaxy there?
He takes out his shotgun and points it at your face. You put that away.
Then I take my shotgun out, and now we're on a Mexican standoff.
I ain't going back to prison. Some random goblin comes up with 2 pistols drawn.
Now, I'm sorry, sir. What was your name?
Barry.
Barry, thank you so much for the information. I just have one other question for you.
Sure.
You mentioned that Vanilla Bean Bastard. I'm getting that right? Yes?
Yeah, that's what he calls himself.
That's what he calls himself. Does anybody know what his name used to be? Is?
No, I don't. I never knew the man.
And you mentioned that he used to work on the ships. Are we talking about the airships or regular ships?
No, the airships with the twins. That's as much as I know about him, though. I've never seen him in town myself, but a lot of the nobles have been having problems with him.
Okay. All right.
Also, the ship owners, the other ship, he's pointing towards the ocean. Those ship owners have been having issues too.
All right, well, let's go talk to the twins and let's get some more information. And hey,
Yeah, they should be up working on one of the ships up there. So good luck.
Gary.
Yep. Just kind of see him hurriedly walk off as he had been wanting to do that for some time.
So again, we're going to see the twins. If this amount is correct,
That would give us.
I say we just say screw Wizardton. And we find this vanilla bean bastard and bring him in. And then we go to Wizardton.
Yeah, this sounds.
That would be
This is definitely a two birds, one stone situation.
Yeah.
2 birds, 1 cracker type of situation.
2 birds, 1 banjo situation. Yep.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
If we had
So you make your way to the first wooden platform, and you see that these are about 50 to 60 feet posts holding up the platform to begin with. So it's raised above all of the other buildings, and it looms as you get closer. And you see a number of ladders and crisscrossing stairs working their way up on 3 platforms that are what appear to be under construction of some sort before the main platform, where obviously the top is blocked from view now that you're standing under it. But you see a number of the people with the guards symbol like on a lapel or pinned onto a cape of some sort working amongst all of this stuff. You see a lot of engineers installing gadgets and gears and pulley systems. You see one set of stairs shifting on their own and then stopping, and shifting on their own and then stopping. You see the stairs kind of like rotating, like a tank would roll on like a wheelie system. The stairs themselves are actually on this wheelie system, but it doesn't seem to be operating correctly. So if you want, you guys can make your way up through all of the workings to get to the top.
Can I look at that stair system that's not working correctly and see if I can see like anything that looks like it's wrong? Like that like looking at that and then looking at something else and try to determine if I can tell, maybe
What?
even if I can't fix it. Like,
what are your tool proficiencies?
Vehicles, actually.
Okay, make an intelligence roll. Just a straight intelligence check.
That's going to be a 17.
It doesn't look like there's anything wrong per se, just incomplete. It looks like there's still a few pieces that need to be installed with it for it to actually work. It doesn't look like it's being supported by anything yet. And a lot of the gears, once this rotates and stops, it's stopping for an unknown reason. You see one goblin in light purple, like lavender robes, kind of casting spells under his breath. And that's what's causing the stair to move about 5 feet at a time.
Okay. Okay. Very well.
You guys make your way to the top floor.
Yes.
And you see 4 ships, massive in size. These are, I can't think of any other way to describe it other than like full scale 1700s, like pirate ships. Like
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like,
Yeah.
Like the Dauntless from Pirates of the Caribbean. They're really big.
huge. Yeah, these are like 3 or 4 masted ships with the large underbelly underneath to house everybody. They're all very different in design. The first one you see very similarly to the temple, the symbol for air carved in the wood all along the ship.
So that
On what? You see the symbol for air carved all along the ship in ornate fashion. Out of the sides of the ship are 3 large masts that are hoisted up at the moment, and in between them, this very light cloth material that's kind of webbed in between on each side. So you have 3 masts and then like webbing in between here and here on each side of this ship. The next one you see, instead of it having the typical boat design that you're mostly all familiar with, this one has a peak in the front that kind of billows out and curves back around like two fish hooks. And then you see the pattern again in the middle of the boat where the wood splinters out and curves back. And then again on the back of the ship, you see it backwards, kind of hooking inwards. The third ship catches your eye pretty clearly because there is the symbol of fire scrolled on it. And you can see underneath where there is a lot of windows, little thin lines of smoke pouring out of the bottom of the ship. This might be the one that they indicated might be fueled by fire. Yep.
Okay.
And then the bottom of what you drew is the front.
Okay.
The last one is a little different because the wood is almost rotten looking. You see, instead of like flush slats of wood, a lot of it is thinner, being banded together by additional pieces, and the wood is like a very, very dark brown, black with spots of green kind of throughout it, almost like rotted food. But the ship is held together. It looks like a regular ship. You see the three masts and the sails are very similar to the webbing on the first one, but the cloth, instead of being, I didn't say this, the cloth on the first one is a very, very light sky blue, like a robin's egg blue. These sails are like midnight black.
This is on the rotted looking one, right?
That's the rotted looking one, the black sails. From this vantage point, you can see across the city about a few miles away, because it is a larger city, as I indicated. You can see the other four ships on their own platform. It's kind of hard to make out the details from here. You notice the one that flew over beforehand, two that you're not really able to make sure of the details, and one, instead of having sails or masts, has a large, what looks like water wheel in the center of it, but it's on fire. And it's just this slow rotating wheel of fire.
And that's all.
I fell into a burning ring of fire.
From here, can we see if people are scrambling around, and does it look like this is normal?
Make a perception check.
Are people like freaking out?
Freaking out, man. I've got a perception of unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20.
23!
Nice. You don't hear any screams. You don't see a lot of scrambling. Looks like that all these ships are also being worked on across the way. It doesn't look like there's any panic that's set in. Looks normal. For how strange this may be, it looks normal. Looks like it's supposed to be on fire.
Interesting.
And this is the water ship. This is the one with the hooks.
No, this is another set of ships that's on the other platform away from us.
And there was no water ship.
So there's 4 over here, and then there's 4 over there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
8 total.
Because the water tribe was killed. So
What was the Cronus?
The Prometheus?
The Prometheus was fire and coal, but then there's the Cronus, which is water.
Cronus is the one with the propellers that you had seen flying over beforehand, which is on the other platform. Based on what you were told with the fire and coal, you look back to the ship on the platform that you're standing on with the little trails of smoke with the fire in the pit of the ship. You can discern that would probably be the Prometheus.
Okay, I'm looking around. Did we get a description of what these twins look like? We did we?
do I see any two people that look the same?
Wait, aren't there workers next to us? We could ask.
Several workers, yeah. There's
Yeah,
people
well-
working on every one of these ships. Up on the ships, on the sides of the ships.
Yeah, well, I'll just kind of like, excuse me.
You see this really like flat hook-nosed goblin turn around with very like disgusting grizzled beard, You see like 2 teeth poking out over his lips. Yeah, what do you want?
We're looking for the twins. Point me in the right direction.
Yeah, they're on the other platform working on one of the ships.
Of course they are. Thank you.
Yeah. He goes back to working.
All right. How do we get to the other platform? I'm sorry.
You walk.
No, not. I wasn't asking him.
Oh.
I was asking you.
You walk. You're gonna have to walk there, unless you want to like.
You walk.
You
All right.
walk.
I'm gonna jump. No.
Jump off of this 60-foot platform down into the waterway below.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna jump across.
Performance check, please.
Oh.
2 backflips.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna saunter on over, looking like I own the joint.
Okay, it's a fairly long walk. You have to make your way all the way back down to the bottom, and actually like cross the city again.
Oh, that's
What?
Do we notice? Oh, do we notice while we're like near the ships? Is anyone giving us like the stink eye, like we don't belong, like in this cart?
Awkwardly, no. Everybody is pretty content to like work. Everybody has their own job. Everybody is focused on what they're doing. Every once in a while, you'll get like someone's working, kind of go back to work, like just what are you doing here? We're busy, kind of mentality.
But nobody's kind of like giving us like.
Nobody seems to be aggressive. So, you guys make your way to the other platform then?
Indeed.
Okay. So it's a bit of a walk. You see several more of those wanted posters for both of the Vanilla Bean Bastard and his accomplice. And you make your way very similarly structured, a lot of stairways, a lot of ladders. This one has more pulley baskets. You see a lot of goblins using them as traveling to go to the top and bottom of this quickly, so they don't have to traverse the stairs.
I tried to get in one.
There is an open one if you want to use it.
Yeah. Scythe and I are going to do that.
Okay. There's room for maybe one person. Scythe would have to like ride on your back.
What if I rode on his back?
Yes, you could do that. Yeah.
Great.
So you guys get in.
That would be lovely.
That's what she said.
Make a strength check as you grab the rope and start to pull yourself up.
Oh, I didn't realize you had that voice yourself.
and you're hiking Scythe up.
Would I be able to stay on the ground and pull them up?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that. Would you like me to make a strength check?
What'd you get?
Athletics or just straight strength?
This would. I can do athletics. You can make an argument for athletics.
Okay, 14.
You pull yourself up about 25 feet, and your hands start to burn. The rope starts cutting into your skin, and you realize, hey, my forearms are on fire at the moment, and you start to slip. Hadvar, you start to see Barrow as he just kind of leaves all of you behind, or the 2 of you behind. You see him start to slip, and the basket kind of shakes a little bit.
I'll grab the rope that I can. And
Okay.
try to stay
Barrow,
alive.
just when you start to feel yourself slip, the basket stops, and you feel a little slack on your end of the rope. And you look down, and you see Hadvar gripping the other end of the dumbwaiter.
Where
Thanks,
you
buddy.
where you think you're going?
I wanted to go faster because I'm short and I don't like stairs.
That's fair. I'll just.
Casually, you don't throw him up, right?
I thought about that for a very hot second, just like.
Okay.
Woo!
So you
It's just like,
pull him up.
yeah, I'll pull him the rest of the way up.
Thanks,
I'll-
buddy.
Very casually, Hadvar, you use your forearms and your tricep muscles, and you're pulling him up. Barrow, you go up at a faster than what you expected speed, and you kind of like stumble backwards for a second as the dumbwaiter goes all the way up to the top floor. You're able to exit at about 60 feet. You
Do
get
that.
out without an issue. And the basket's up there. Amora and Hadvar, do you want to try it yourselves or do you want to walk?
How big is this basket?
Room for one person.
Okay. Yeah, I'll bring it back down. And I'll motion to Amora.
Whee!
She sits in, like, looking out the side, waiting, and you pull her up normal. Before Amora gets to the top, you are approached by a copper-scaled dragonborn that comes over and just, like, stands next to you looking up. As you're looking up and pulling, you see him, like, looking up as well.
And I'll be like, you want next?
No, I'm good. Just trying to figure out what you're doing with this equipment.
Well, seemed like the quickest way to get my friends up there.
How about you take the stairs?
Oh, yeah, I was planning on that. I'm not putting myself in this thing.
And he grabs the rope from you, and you see him, like, kind of shift forward, like, not because you made it look so easy, he didn't expect it to be heavy.
Yeah.
And he kind of, I'll take this. And you see him doing it a little slower, a little more carefully.
Wait, bringing her back down?
No, bringing her back up, like,
okay.
the rest of the way, the next, like, 15 feet up. But you could see there was a look of concern because you were going so fast.
I got you.
And you make your way upstairs?
Yeah, that was my plan.
Do I smell the rope burning at all?
No. A trail of fire as you're rocketing upward. So very similarly to the other platform, you see a lot of the stairs and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. You get up to the top, more workers, and these 4 ships are a little different. This first ship that you come up to and see is a ship with a carved mast at the front. I forget what those are called. The
Masthead?
Sure. But instead of it just being like a spike, like an actual mast, you see statues kind of like reaching forward, and you see a larger dragonborn and a smaller dragonborn, and the larger one kind of has his hand on the smaller one's shoulder, and he's pointing off into, you can't really see my hand, he's like pointing into the distance, and that's kind of like the mast.
You're saying mast? Do you mean the stern?
Uh-huh.
The mast is what comes up the center.
The center,
all the way
whatever
up.
the front piece is.
Okay,
I said masthead. Isn't the masthead on the ships that, like, sculpture thing that comes out on
With the mermaid underneath.
a masthead?
I know. I don't know masthead because that's not what we don't have that.
On the stern of the ship, there is a
The
sculpture of
masthead is the highest part of the mast. That's right.
where the crow's nest is.
Yeah. So stern, I think you might be thinking, I don't know what that's called, but that is the stern of the ship.
Sure.
Okay.
So at the stern of the ship, you have this large sculpture out of metal.
Sculpture that's on the front of a old ship.
And it's this picture of a dragonborn.
Wooden decoration found at the bow of ships.
Okay. It's called a figurehead. I was half right. Masthead, figurehead. It was there. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
The figurehead of this ship is a dragonborn with his arm around a smaller dragonborn, pointing off in the distance. Like that's the front of the ship, is his arm and pointing. You see the whole front is carved into these 2 statues. The next one is the large one that you saw with the big propellers. The next one has another. It has 3 masts. It's another 3-masted ship, but you see on the edges of it, unsure if it's for decoration or not, but you see what look like pikes carved out of the ship along all the sides. So it looks like it's barbed. It almost looks like a cactus with these pikes just poking out of the entirety of the ship on the sides, and on the railing are larger pikes that come out. Like a it looks like a giant wooden porcupine almost. And then the last one is this large ship with that burning water wheel in the middle of it, and you see it slowly rotating.
Is that boat made of wood?
It is.
do I see? Can I discern that magical, or is there like perhaps maybe some unburnable wood?
Basic physics would tell you that this ship should be going up in flames.
Okay.
As you look at the ship, it's hard to tell because it's such a large ship. You can see there is a space for this wheel to be rotating because it doesn't like sit on top of the
It's like
the deck. It's like in the ship a little bit. Like 3/4 are sticking out and 1/4 goes below deck.
Okay.
And rotates throughout the ship.
Okay.
So can we, like, it would? Like
there's no smoke coming from the burning wheel.
So it's not like steam, like or.
Yep. As you look around here, you do see 2 Aarakocra dressed very similarly, having a conversation with each other. These Aarakocra are blue jays. They're 4 feet tall. They both have books in their hands and glasses on as they are talking about and scribbling notes to each other as they're looking at the burning wheel ship.
We don't know their name. No, we do know their names.
Yep. Igaru and Igera.
I'm going to start walking towards them slowly, not imposing, but kind of like trying to, like when you're trying to get your mom's attention without like interrupting.
You just kind of stand close enough so that they see you.
Yeah.
Everyone tagging along, or is Hadvar just kind of going up on his own?
No, I'm gonna go up there too.
I'm just in awe. So I'm gonna like stop and like I probably don't even see them walking away at the moment. Like, I'll turn, I see them.
So you feel a tug on your pant leg, and Scythe is like,
Oh, okay.
You guys bound off after them. You stand close by, and you catch the end of their conversation where they're having this conversation about trying to get this ship up in the air, but it's too heavy. The wood has to change. We need a transmuter. There's not much that's going to work with this one. It may be a lost cause. We don't want another accident. And they both notice you at that point, and they look over. They say, "Oh yes, hello."
Hello. Are you the twins, I presume?
At the same time, they go, "We are."
Oh well, then. Well, we have a lot of a story to tell you.
Oh, we are kind of busy at the moment, but I suppose we can take a break from our work. And at the same time, they close their books together and put them in the same pocket of their jackets.
So I'm going to go on and tell them and basically give them a rundown of why we're here. I'm going to listen. So the plane that we live on is under attack, and we are here because we desperately need help.
So you explain the course of events that you were introduced to Nobis. You may not call them that. You were introduced to a group. You guys were tasked with finding an army to fight against this otherworldly entity, and there's a castle in the sky that you need to get to, and you're hoping to garner the help from them.
Yes.
This doesn't sound like something that we should be involved with. It sounds dangerous.
Well, yes, here's the thing. If we don't nip this problem in this very dangerous bud, then it is going to involve you whether you want it to or not.
Oh, I see. Yes, this makes sense. Yes, it makes lots of sense.
Also, we would be willing to compensate for this.
Yes, you would have to. Bringing the ships up in the air is always an expensive venture. There's a lot of work that goes into these. Yes, much work is involved.
As you're saying that, I'm going to pull out the pictures of the wanted.
Okay.
Just like, compensates.
You see both their eyes light up. Oh, do you know where he's staying?
Well, no, we just would like some information, and we will take care of this issue for you.
Oh my, if you were able to take care of this problem for us, you would have certainly our assistance in this free of charge.
Oh, well, in that case,
with some gold to spare, maybe?
It is a lot to ask. We typically rent these out for those who are willing to go on expeditions. Very rarely. Yes, very rarely. Many of them have died. Yes, many of them have had accidents. We don't like to talk about them. No, we don't like to talk about them very much.
People have died on these things.
Oh, Anthony, I'm sending you a message because something just hit me in the head with a knowledge, an epiphany, and I need to ask you specifically, real quick, because.
Okay. They go on to explain, yes, typically we ask for 15,000 gold for someone to use our ships. Yes, 15,000. That is a modest price. Yes, modest indeed for how much work is put into these. Yes, much work is put into these. You see them kind of scatterbrained, but they kind of complement each other. It's almost like two halves of a brain working in tandem.
I like gold, but like 15,000 a piece.
Oh, yes, yes. One ship would be 15,000 gold. But if you were willing to take care of this problem, we'd be happy to lend you a ship for this.
I mean, is this price accurate? And I hold it up and I point to the 5 million.
Ah, yes, that is accurate, but I believe you trade in gold, do you not?
So what is 5 million in
Sure.
gold?
No, this is our currency, and you see like the symbol, the dollar sign, which is something you have not seen before.
Yeah, that's it.
No, gold, you'd get 5,000.
Oh.
Which is still not enough for a ship.
No, I think this would be a good trade then, wouldn't it? Yes, a good trade indeed. If you took care of our problem, you get a ship for it. Yes, you would get a ship. Yes.
Where was the last time you saw him?
Yes, Advar, they are. Sorry, Barrow?
When and where was the last place that you saw him?
Oh, he was harassing the nobles again. Yes, harassing the nobles at the harbor. Yes, it was the harbor. He stole another ship. Yes, I believe he did steal a ship. Yes, I believe he might be out on the ocean at the moment.
And we heard from one of the guards that he used to work with you.
Ah, yes, he helped us come up with the idea for planetary travel. Yes, planetary travel. We were supposed to make the ships. Yes, make the ships indeed. He stole one from us. From us? He stole it from us. So, without me having to do two characters, because I didn't realize how hard this was going to be. So, they go back and forth and they tell you this, how he originally was their investor to help make these ships. They were the brainchild and he had the money to do it. They didn't know where the money was coming from. He had been like a highwayman. He was just supplying them with a crazy amount of money to build all of this stuff. When they finally got a successful one, he ended up taking it, killing everybody that worked on it. The twins were actually not present at that point in time. They were the only ones that survived. And he made off with the ship, which eventually crashed into the ocean anyway. So he has since come back to the town over and over again because it's where he lived. That's where he knows. It's one of the only civilizations that he interacts with. He will constantly harass people going in and out of the harbors, in and out of the town. He's known to even harass the Black Dragonborn tribes, where he would go out and interact with the roaming bands and steal from them and take their money and their weapons and stuff.
So he stole a regular ship. Like he's not only not so
Both. He stole the very first flying ship that they made, which
Yeah.
ended up crashing into the ocean.
Okay.
What is his name? I'm assuming that he was not born Vanilla Bean Bastard.
No, he was not. No, it was Victor. Yes, his name was Victor. Victor Bean.
What's the deal with the weird creature?
We are not sure where he found this man. Yes, is it even a man? No, I'm not sure if it's a man. It's a companion of his.
Was this before or after the building of the ship?
Oh, much after. Yes, this creature joined him recently. Yes, it was most recent, probably within the last year.
Interesting.
I look I look at Amora when they say within the last year. Okay. You guys
Do I
have
catch that glare?
what? Huh?
Do I catch that? Oh yeah, I catch it.
All right, so you see Beryl like look at Amora when they say within the last year.
I have no idea.
You have no idea what?
Wait.
What happened in the last year?
That's when all this started.
I wonder if they're related. I'm not sure. He seemed to always work by himself. Yes, it's strange that he'd be able to do this by himself, though, don't you think? Yes, strange indeed.
Has there been any odd happenings in the past year aside from this? Things that never happened before, things that have shown up maybe that weren't ever there before.
Any fey creatures?
No, not that we're aware of. No, we're kept quite busy on these ships up here. Yes, we are busy indeed. We are working most of the day, more than most of the day.
Okay.
All right. So do we have a most recent direction for Mr. Victor Bean?
Last that you know, he stole a ship from the harbor and headed out to sea with whatever was on it.
Well, did any of the ship have any markings? Was it like
The ship itself?
yeah? So did it
The
have any?
twins don't know those details, but you could probably find those out.
Yeah. Let's head over to the docks and check this out.
Yeah. So
Do you think that there's anybody down at the docks that would know you, that if we were to tell them that we're trying to find this, vanilla bean bastard, that they would allow
Well,
us?
everyone knows us. Yes, most everyone in the city. I'd say everyone indeed. Oh, yes, probably everyone.
Right, yeah, no, what I was getting at was if we told them that we knew you and asked you, would they be okay with us borrowing one of their ships or take us out on one of their ships in search of him?
I'm not sure. Yes, I'm not sure either. There are plenty of ships down there, plenty of people too. I'm sure someone would be willing to help. I would hope so.
Is there someone that you usually work with? And
No, we work by ourselves or together. Yes, together by ourselves.
I want to go up to one of them and like scritchel under their feet.
You start walking up and they say, "What? No, please.
Nice.
No. And they like keep, no touching, please. We love our personal space. Yes, our personal space. Please do not touch us."
But but there's no sailor that you usually deal with, or nobody that we could start our.
It is a harbor port. It is not something that we dabble in. No, it's not something we dabble in. There's many people down at the harbor. Yes, I'm sure there's a harbor master.
We should probably go.
Okay. All right. So if we do catch him and you want him alive.
Oh, yes, preferably alive. We want to know what he's up to. Yes, it would be very good to answer some of the questions we have. Many questions indeed.
Okay. So if we get him alive and you need the banjo or just him?
They look at each other. The banjo would be nice. Yes, it would be nice to play the banjo. I would like a banjo too.
No, I'm not going to buy you. The poster says with banjo. So you want.
You can get the banjo. It would be nice to have. Yes, it would be nice indeed to have his banjo. I would like to have that.
Okay. So if we bring him back alive with banjo, you're saying that you will allow us to take 2 of the ships.
Ooh, we would probably let you take one, but they both like heavily sigh. It does seem like you have quite the predicament on your hands. Roll a persuasion check.
I'm gonna burn a luck point. Better.
I don't even know what the number is. Can I burn luck points to give him a +4?
Oh, you mean a sorcery point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some Ben luck, and
Yeah.
whenever you see a ability check saving. Oh wait, ability check.
It's an ability check. It's a wisdom ability.
16.
Plus.
Nope.
What, didn't you roll a d4? Oh, that's with it?
Her +2 cancels out my -2 to persuasion.
Gotcha.
Straight 16.
Okay. We are unsure if we want to loan more than one ship. Yes, we only have 2 ships that are applicable to fly.
Gentlemen, if I may, as my compatriot here was saying, the fate of the world, not just Ferristar, like the entire world, is dependent on this.
There's
We understand what you're saying. Yes, we do understand indeed, but we're not too sure. Yes, we're not sure if it's that dire. Yes, we've not seen that much trouble out this way.
Have we asked if they've dealt with anyone from Wizardton?
We would be willing to offer a discount for the second ship. Yes, a discount. That would seem right. Yes, we can do a discount.
What if you, okay, let me ask you this. What if you two were to pilot the ships so that there's no way that we could crash them?
You would be heroes.
And you would be there, and you would be known throughout Ferristar as heroes of the realm.
Which would bring on more people looking to invest
Everybody
in
would
your
fly their ship. Everyone would want to ride.
free advertisement.
It's free marketing for your business and what you're trying to do here. You probably get an influx of money to fund your airships.
Make another persuasion check with disadvantage. Since this is on tandem, you've already made one check. I can let you roll again, but with disadvantage.
With disadvantage?
I will say, because you have Amora and Hadvar chiming in and helping at this point, it's a straight roll. Because they are helping.
Oh my
Man,
gosh.
too bad I wasn't talking more. My persuasion.
I'm gonna burn another luck point.
Here, I'm gonna do this. I'm not even gonna watch your roll. I'll just do that. Nope, get it in the box. Get it in the box.
Less. It is something that we will consider. It is a good marketing move. Yes, very good for our business. Our business does need investors. Investors usually bring lots of money. Yes, I agree. And they just kind of like start talking to each other more and more, and they like slowly turn away and just like start walking away as they talk to each other. Like deep in thought of this idea that it may benefit them more than they realized. But they actually just kind of like walk off to the other side of the burning wheel ship.
Go to the harbor.
Yeah, well, why don't we if we at least get one, it'll be fine. But 2 would be great. I know, but let's let them mull that over.
Based on the size of these ships, you could probably fit about 300 people on one of them.
Well, but wouldn't we want to try to send them? Like, it would be best to try to send 2. Like,
whatever tactic you want to use is up to you guys. But I will say that based on the people that are going to be tagging along and the assistance that you've garnered, one ship would hold everybody. If you want 2 ships to go up, that's on you. I just want to make it. I'm not trying to railroad you. I'm just trying to let you know that you. Looking at the ships, one of them will be sufficient. It may not be tactically advantageous, but it is sufficient. And you have them thinking about this idea that it may benefit them more and they may give you that discount.
If we give them time to mull this over, it might benefit us.
Bolt it over.
Bolt it over.
Oh.
So you guys make your way back down through the stairs and maybe some use the dumbwaiters again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the dumbwaiters and I'm gonna like look down there for the dragonborn guy.
You didn't know he was even there to begin with.
Advar was the only one.
Yeah, I was the only one. As they go towards the dumbwaiter, I'm like, yeah, let's just keep to the stairs.
All right. I get on Sife's back.
Sife starts moving towards the dumbwaiter.
No, down this way. Down this
He
way.
whines. He's like nosing towards it.
Down this way.
So he relents and goes down the stairs. As you're making your way down, you see a heavier dragonborn, kind of chunky, in one of the dumbwaiters reading with some book, and he has a piece of charcoal in his hand. And he's like marking things off one at a time. And you see that the dumbwaiter is just slowly lowering itself, and there's no one operating the ropes. But you make your way the rest of the way down.
Is it weighted?
Huh?
Is it weighted? Like the other like
Is there an arcane presence that is making him?
He's moving slowly. It doesn't look like he's doing anything with the ropes.
All right, so there's not like a big log on the other.
No.
Log.
Okay.
Just
I didn't know if this was like a Greatest Showman type of thing.
no.
Are we
This
close?
is literally just a rope around a pulley system tied to the dumbwaiter.
Are we close enough to see what his book is?
No. He's
Oh.
50 or so feet away, and he's just checking stuff off.
Hi.
Small nod, and he just keeps checking. You see him like descend past you, and it touches the floor, and he exits, and he.
How are you doing that?
What?
How are you doing that?
What?
You came down without someone helping you. Oh. Okay.
You see him just kind of walk off and continue to like try like look over his shoulder maybe once or twice. You see, to him it's very normal. So it was a strange question. He's like, all right.
Drow.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, you can like. There's some that are about halfway. If you wanted to try one, as you're making your way down.
No, Hadvar says we can't use it.
Papa Hadvar said no.
Come on, Dad. So you guys make your way. The rest of the way, you hit the ground and you make your way towards the ocean. You see a number of ships that are unfamiliar in design. Yes.
And en route, I would like to see if I could find a shop of potion.
Magic stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll another perception check.
Perception check with a
Is this
D20, not a D12. That's going to be a natural 20.
No, oh,
Okay, well, never mind.
yes, you find one. Yeah. You find a shop there with looks like a cauldron, and then 2 glass vials like pouring into it. And you see Oceanside Alchemy.
Oceanside Alchemy.
Yep.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm going to head right on in.
Okay, so you make your way through. There are actually like double doors that swing. They're full-size doors, but they act like tavern doors. You walk in and you're kind of hit with a lot of acidic smells, a lot of there's a bit of a haze, kind of like a smoke shop. If there's like a smoke room in the back, there's this kind of like layer of heavy smoke present, but the smell almost burns your nose, like when you eat a large chunk of wasabi. It kind of like tingles your sinuses. As you're breathing it in, you can kind of feel your lungs and your throat not burn, but warm. And you look around and you see a female goblin with long, curly, gray hair kind of billowed over her shoulders and her back, kind of hunched over a desk, picking at roots and flowers and like picking stuff off of them and setting them off to the side. Come in, hello.
Oh, hello. looking to have perhaps peruse your alchemic
Yep,
solution.
look around. There's plenty to look at. Thanks. She seems very into what she's doing.
All right.
Picking this stuff off and setting pieces aside of this large black root that kind of contours and roots off. But you see a number of...
Do I recognize the root?
If you walk up and you want to inspect it?
No, just kind of at a glance.
It looks familiar. Familiar to your armor. It looks like it's the same as your armor.
Oh, then that might catch my eye. But I'm gonna walk around the room first and see if I see anything interesting. Like aside from health potions, obviously I'm looking for health potions. But
there are several remedies along the walls that cure itching and for hair loss and for pain relief and for all sorts of stuff. And she has them labeled. And they're all different kinds of consistencies and thickness and colors. They're all in different vials, shapes, and sizes. Near the front, where she was working, off to her right side, you see a glass case where there are a number of health potions. There's potions of cure disease, potions of cure poison, and she has a sign in that case that says, "Ask for our more expensive properties."
okay. I'm gonna walk over to her and I'm gonna kind of like look down at the root. And then I'd like to take a closer look and see if I actually do recognize this.
It is very much the same as your armor.
Okay.
No roll necessary. You see it. It has that very, very dark green metallic look to it. But you see her with these like 2-inch nails, like picking off pieces of the outer bark and like digging the root, like the inside of the tree, out and setting it aside like one strand at a time.
Okay. Would I know anything about the other properties that this tree could be used for? Would I have any knowledge?
Roll an intelligence check.
Wait,
Stay on the table.
is Hadvar not wearing metal armor?
No. Hadvar, when he was first introduced, was wearing what looked like metal because it had this like glossy sheen to it, but was actually extremely dark green, what looked like black, but is actually just so dark green wooden armor. And it contours like it was metal. It looks like it was hammered as if it was metal, but it looks like it's striated pieces of wood that were bonded together.
I vaguely remember this, and I just completely forgot that it was wood and not metal. Huh.
Yeah. All girl. That's a 10 for my intelligence.
You know that the wood is so durable that it can withstand piercing, and it can be used for armor. As far as like the actual root, like the inside, like the actual pulpy root of the trees, you would assume because it's so magical and it's harnessed in the living forest, it probably has something that it can do, but it's beyond you.
Is it something that I would have come across in Dwimmerton?
No.
All right.
This is deep in the living forest, only around the Wood Elf territories, which were all turned into Fey areas.
But I know what this is called, right?
Yep.
Which is...
Oh my gosh.
Skippy wood.
Skippy wood.
Yeah.
Oh man, Kyle, I don't know. I wrote that forever ago.
I know. It's fine. Can I just call it Augural? Because that's the name of my armor.
How's it spelled?
Augrial.
Yeah, Augrail. That's what it is.
Oh.
Augrail.
Oh, cool. Augrail. And I'm gonna as I walk up behind her, I'm saying Augrail root.
She looks up quickly. She says, "What do you know?" Ooh. And she sees your armor. Where did you have this made? And she like starts tapping your armor, if you'll let her.
Yeah.
Just like prodding with her 2-inch nails, just like tapping on it.
It was made for me by my wood elf friends.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Quite good. Quite good. Yes, can I help you? She sets the wood aside. It is all grail, yes. Expensive, but useful.
I'm very well aware. It's kept me alive for a number of years.
As she looks up, notably, she has one large scar that has turned one eye completely white.
Okay. And I'll say to her, well, I was looking to get some help with these more expensive potions.
Oh, yes, of course, of course. She like starts to go down and says, "You do have the money for it, yes?"
Oh, that's not a concern. Yes.
Let me see. And she's like,
I'll like jingle one of my pouches.
"Oh no,
whatever.
let me see it. I want to see the money. I don't want to take these out. I've been robbed too many times."
I'm gonna pull out like a fistful of my gold.
Okay, and you like lay it on the counter. Says,
yeah.
Pharaoh is trying to learn the ways of persuasion and speaking to people, and he's saying to Hadvar, "What's her name? What's her name?
What's your name?"
Oh, she looks over to you. Oh, sorry. Gut reaction. My apologies. Mordred. My name's Mordred. I mean no offense. Anyways, yes, young man, you. Here's the health potions. She has, in the glass case, she had a regular health potion, a greater health potion, and a superior health potion behind the glass. She takes one of each. She takes one of each of them out and sets them on the counter. Says, "I do have more in the back, but this is my only superior."
What's the superior gonna run me?
350 gold.
Yeah, I'll take that.
And you start spilling the gold out and sorting it out.
Yeah, and then what's the greater?
The greater is 150, regular is 50. But if you're gonna get more than one thing, I could probably do something to give you a nice discount. Not many people have the gold to spend on something like this. And she taps the cork of the superior.
Yeah, and then also, is that a poison? A poison potion?
Many poisons. Yes, we have plenty of cure poison or actual poison.
Cure poison.
Yes. No, not.
That'd be a very bad mistake.
She kind of like gets real serious. Like, ooh, I shouldn't have said anything. Yes, cure poison. She takes that out and puts it on the counter. That's also 100 gold.
Yes. So I'll do that and the superior. The 3 greater.
Wow. Okay, hang on. Math. 3 greater healings?
Yeah.
You said they're 150, and then the superior is 350, but he bought the only...
Yeah. So you're at 900 total without any discounts.
Okay, superior.
How many greater potions do you have?
About 8 or so. Go back and check.
Mordred.
Mm.
You mentioned that you have cures for poisons. We recently came across a fairly nasty poison that came from the Black Dragonborn in the mountains.
A big smile goes across her face. Yes, those nasty Dragonborn. They dabble in alchemy for sure. Yes, I'll have to go back and grab something for this. And you see her go behind and move a curtain aside, and you can see like a long hallway with several doors on it. And she's reading the tops of the doors and goes in one. She disappears for a moment. She comes back out. She has a vial about this big, black liquid.
I swear it was with you.
Rare, but it's the only thing that will cure most of their poisons. But it's an all-purpose.
Okay. How much for that?
This will be 300 gold. I don't have many of these.
How many do you have?
I only have 3.
I feel like it might be a good idea for all 3 of us to have one of those.
I'm right here. I'm looking at a book thing at the moment. I have to get my player's handbook for something. Excuse me while I look up a spell.
Mordred, I do have a quick question. Would you happen to know what that poison is?
I've not been able to study it myself. They are crafty individuals, but it is debilitating. More of a disease than a poison. But in liquid form.
Gotcha.
They put it on their weapons.
So, if affected by this poison, do you have to drink the whole vial, or would some of it go a long way?
Oh, no, you don't drink it. You apply it directly to the wound.
That's good to know.
But yes, it is a one application use.
How long would it take for you to make another one?
Oh, 3 days? If I have the ingredients.
Uh-oh. So you probably don't have ingredients.
I have not checked in a while. Not too many people buy these from me. They usually go to the temples and pay to just be cured.
Oh, is this something that like a restoration spell can help with?
Something like that, yes, but it has to be a powerful spell indeed to get rid of it.
Okay. So what do you think, guys? I mean, like, I don't know that I want to drop 900 for me to have 3 vials, but it might not be a bad idea for us to have one.
So the cure poison wasn't what I got.
You got a regular cure poison, which is 100 gold.
Okay. So I got that.
That's just the poison.
Okay, so I got that with the Black Dragonborn thing in mind.
Oh,
So,
that clarification, she can say, "Oh no, honey, this will never be able to cure that."
Okay.
And she puts it back.
okay, so I'm gonna get the Black Dragonborn poison.
So you're at 1100.
I'm going to do one of those, yeah. Are you doing one of those?
Probably should.
And question:
Mhm.
what are you planning on doing with the rest of that augurial root? Agarol.
This is one of the ingredients for the cure poison.
Oh, that's interesting. That's
Yes. Yes.
Is there anything that I would know? Looking at that thing, could it be fashioned, what she has there, into some sort of weapon?
If taken to a smith of great skill, what she has could probably be turned into a dagger.
Oh, okay.
It's not a large piece of wood. It's like yay big.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm thinking. All right, cool.
She's just like picking striations out of it very carefully and setting them down.
Okay.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
I will. Hadvar, how many greater potions did you buy?
I bought 3.
You're at 1,700 gold total for the supplies.
All right, then I will buy 2 greater, 1 regular. Now, how many regulars do you have?
Oh, honey, I have plenty of those if you need them.
Okay. So if I do 2 greater,
It'd be 350 more for all of that. 2 greater and a regular is 350.
all right, and then I'll do 2 regular. So I'll do 2 greater, 2 regular.
Okay. 2,100 then. Anything else I can do for you? This is quite the supply. Doing something dangerous.
Always, madam.
My kind of man. She like taps the armor again.
Do you have anything that would make someone stronger if they drank it?
I do. And she goes behind the curtains again and brings out a potion of hill giant's strength.
Okay.
A foul-tasting beverage, but it'll do the job.
How much would that be?
This is also $3.50.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. I need, if that's everything, because I want to wrap this up.
Okay, I am going to say one thing. I'm going to kind of whisper in and said, I heard you mention poisons?
She like winks at you. She goes back and she says, "What are you looking to accomplish?" And she has like this tray, like a bar shooter tray, like that you get the shot glasses in.
Okay.
But she has 6 vials and they're all different colors.
I'm gonna pull out my shotgun buckshot and I'm gonna say I want these to inflict way more damage.
So your shotgun shoots magical blasts of energy. There is no ammo that goes into it.
I sat here and thought that I was loading buckshot and shooting buckshot. Okay. All right. Well, then in that case, I'm going to. Yeah. All right. Well, then yeah, I still want a poison of some sort. What are my options?
How much are you willing to spend?
I'm not thrifty.
This should do good. She pulls the second one out of the rack. She says, "Apply this to a weapon and it'll last for 8 hours." She hands it to you.
Okay.
You can look at it. You see, it's a translucent, vibrant green, like a verdant green. The properties of that allow you for 8 hours to coat one weapon, and it will apply with a hit of 20 or above on an attack roll. Will apply the poison status, but will always do 1d4 extra poison damage.
What were those things that? What were those?
Actually, I do have one thing I do want to ask her. If she has anything that is.
Are you going to take that poison, or do you hand it back?
Oh no, I'm gonna take this. Oh yeah, okay. I'm writing it down.
That's only 150.
Okay. I do ask her, do you have anything that's particularly effective against the undead?
No, not in alchemical form. You'd have to go to the temples for that.
Very well. But thank you. This should work nicely. There's 1 dose, right? I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Amora?
Well, I was just gonna ask. I can't remember the things that we fought. The
Scorpion collie? The
So-
scorpion things?
Yes. So I was curious if those were used in any sort of potions that she uses.
I do. It's in his hand.
So I'm gonna pull out my the scythe. Oh, the rapier arm.
Oh, it's like a glaive. It's like a long, yeah.
Would this be you? Would this?
You fought them. My, you're not as scrawny as you look.
So would this give us any sort of discount?
Let me see. And she like takes it from you. She's like tapping the arm and kind of opens like a part of the muscle. She's like, She's like putting her finger. Hello. She puts her finger like into the arm, and she's like,
Good night, baby.
and she licks it. Says, "It's not too old. Yes, I suppose this can give you a discount if you're willing to part with it."
I know. I think that would be good because we're buying a lot of potions. We need a lot of stuff.
All right, so total for everything is 2,600 gold. By giving her the arm, I'll say it's 2,400 gold. I want each of you to roll percentage dice, and whoever rolls the lowest is the percentage that I take off of this.
Didn't go on the bottom.
What'd you get?
46.
Okay.
87.
Okay.
Dang.
39.
Not bad. 39% discount.
can we round that up 1 percentage point to alleviate my OCD that I'm going to have?
Nope.
You
Hadvar.
take OCD damage.
Do we know that Hadvar got that poison?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't sneaky about it.
Your total comes to 1,464 gold.
Oh, sounds good.
It's really good.
Yeah, what you said 1,400?
1,464.
I'll just
You
take
want me to-
1,000 gold, and I'll push 1,000 gold because I think
You
I got the
bought
bulk
a
of
good chunk of
everything.
that.
Yeah, I made a big chunk in there. So
Between
I'll
the two
put
of you, I still need 464.
So that's 232 each.
Yeah. Okay.
What did you get?
I got 1 black vial. I got 2 greater
And 2 regular healing potions.
potion. So my total was 400.
No, 700.
Correct.
Math is hard. I have that written in so incorrectly. So
Okay.
why don't I
no,
do?
No, that's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. 232. All right. here we go.
232 apiece. So you both hand over the gold. The transaction is completed. Thank you very much. Feel free to come back anytime. I'll have to resupply a lot of this, but come back in a week and I'm sure I'll be restocked.
Thank you, Mordred.
My pleasure. And she puts the vials behind the case again and puts everything away and closes it up, and she goes back to picking the all grail out of the root. And as she's picking up the strands, you see they look like flexible pieces of metal. Like they have that shine to them. Like pieces of silver almost. But they are very malleable. But that's where we're going to end tonight as you guys make your way to the docks. I have to start getting ready for work, so I have to cut this. But yeah, so a potential easy way to garner travel rather than just paying for it outright, since it is very expensive. I didn't know how much gold you guys have anymore or what you were willing to sell and part with. But yeah, so we should see how things go. But you all have a good rest of your evening. I will talk to you guys in the chat to figure out the next time that we play, and we'll get this wrapped up and head on to the docks and try to figure out where the Vanilla Bean Bastard went.
Vanilla Bean Bastard.
Looks pretty good, doesn't he? Jen's friend drew that for us.
Yeah, that's great.
That's perfect. I like it.
Pretty great. Pretty great. But all right, guys, have
All
a
right.
good evening. I'll
Good
talk
night.
to you later.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Save.
Bye.
Yeah, good night.
So I really hope I didn't give that arm for nothing. But for 39% off of our total
Yeah.
was pretty.
I mean, what were you going to use it for? Nothing. It was going to sit
No,
there
it
and
was
get
gonna-
old and then be wasted.
It was gonna sit in my pack and do nothing.
Yeah, no, that was. I feel like that went really well because Hadvar's bill was already up to like 1,700 or something like that
what
before
was-
the discount.
What was our total to start with? 24.
20.
Yeah, it was 24 or something.
So we brought
Or
it.
26 or 24. Or I can't remember. It was high.
Yeah.
I was about to sell my tentacle rod, but because I still have that thing.
See, I feel like that would be more like you would be able to get that at a weaponsmith, like someone maybe be able to.
The tentacle rod? I don't know. I actually don't even know what rarity that is. I gotta look that up.
I thought this thing, because if he was looking for stuff like alchemy wise, that may have been something to make a poison or make
Yeah.
something. So
Yeah, it was a
that
good
worked.
call. It was a good call.
So
All right. Well, I gotta go do some chores before I go to bed.
Have fun with
yeah,
that.
have fun.
We will see you later.
Yep.
See ya.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.